Let's continue with the word of the Most High. We in Psalms 106 and 35. It said, but we'll mingle among the heathen and learn their works. Remember the Most High told us in Jeremiah 10 and 2, learn not the way of the heathen. But we will mingle among the heathen and learn their works. And they served their idols, which were a snare to them. See, just like idols now. Different religions and so forth that don't really believe in the fact that we are the 12 tribes of Israel, that the Bible is talking about us. When it says the power, the Most High, the God of Israel, the power of Israel, I mean, he's the power of the Israelites, period. And they serve their idols. When we mingle among these heathen, we serve their idols, the things that they would have us to do and believe in. When, as for the way of the Most High, the Mashiach Yahushua tells us in Wisdom 5 and 7, they're going to say, when the kingdoms and the salvation is coming to the Israelites, we have not known them. But how are we going to follow someone that don't know the Most High, that don't know Hamashiach Yahushua, that don't follow his laws and commandments? Yea, they sacrifice their sons and their daughters unto devils. Oh, that get 1 Corinthians 10, 20, and 21. Sacrifice our sons and daughters unto devils. Look what it says. Since y'all want to call yourself a Gentile, and you're really an Israelite, Moses said in 1 Corinthians 10 and 20, but I say that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, since you want to call yourself a Gentile, they sacrifice to devils. You hear that? And not to the Most High. Power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob been the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. And I would not that ye should have fellowship with devils. Hear what he said? But what do? Psalms 106 and 37. Yeah, they sacrifice their sons and their daughters unto devils. But what did the Most High say? But I said to you, 1 Corinthians 10 and 20. But I say that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to devils or worship devils, and not to the Most High. And I would not that ye should have fellowship with devils. Listen, you cannot drink the cup of the Most High and the cup of devils. You cannot be partakers of the Most High's table and the table of devils. See? Do we provoke the Most High to jealousy? Are we stronger than he? You better understand. Going back to Psalms 106, verse 37. Yea, they sacrifice their sons and their daughters unto devils. Because the Gentiles who have the idols that we want to follow sacrifice to devils and shed innocent blood, even the blood of their sons and of their daughters, whom they sacrificed unto the idols of Canaan, and the land was polluted with blood. Sacrifice our sons and daughters to these idols. Of these nations, the Canaanites, that we went into their land, took their land, and went in there and found. Most I said what? He told us, Deuteronomy 7 chapter. He told us, man. Verse 2. And when the Most High thy power shall deliver them of these 7 nations before thee, thou shalt smite them. He said, told us to kill them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Right? Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. For they will turn away thy son from following me. You want to follow the way of the heathen. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods or other idols. Remember, all the gods of the nations are idols, as it is this day. So will the anger of the Most High be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly. But thus shalt thou deal with them. He shall destroy their altars and break down their images and cut down their groves and burn their graven images with fire. Say, burn their graven image with fire. For thou art an holy people, he said, unto the Most High thy power. The Most High thy power have chosen thee, we the Israelites, to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Just what he's telling us. But what we do? Psalms 106, 37. Yeah, they sacrificed their sons and their daughters unto devils and shed innocent blood, even the blood of their sons and their daughters, whom they sacrificed unto the idols of Canaan, and the land was polluted with blood. We obey them. Thus were they defiled with their own works, and went a whoring with their own inventions. Therefore was the wrath of the Most High kindled against his people, insomuch that he abhorred, he hated his own inheritance. And he gave them into the hand of the heathen, and they that hated them ruled over them. So these people don't love you. These other nations don't love us. He said he gave us to the hands of the heathen. We read in this lesson in Judges the 10th chapter, the 10th verse down, all the heathens that had us in captivity. And he gave them into the hand of the heathen, and they that hated them, they no love here, they that hated them ruled over them. Their enemies also oppressed them, and they were brought into subjection under their hand. Many times he delivered them when we cried to the Most High, but they provoked him with their counsel. He delivered us, here we go again, going off, being infinite children, and were brought low for their iniquity, for our wickedness. Nevertheless, he regarded their affliction when he heard their cry. You hear that? You can't be no more of a solution than that. Nevertheless, remember he said, I'm going to go to my place until they acknowledge their offense. In their affliction, they shall seek me early. And remember, listen, nevertheless, he regarded their affliction when he heard their cry. We got to cry one more time. That's it. That's why the women, we had wailing women. And you men got to be crying too, man. One more time, that's it. Nevertheless, he regarded their affliction when he heard their cry. And he remembered with them his covenant, and repented according to the multitude of his mercies. Not getting something that we do deserve. He made them also to be pitied of all those that carried them captives. The Most High did this when we cried to him. Save us now, O Most High power, and gather us from among the heathen, to give thanks unto thy holy name, and to triumph in thy praise. Blessed be the Most High power of Israel, or the Israelites, from everlasting to everlasting. Let all the people say, praise ye the Most High. I'm not saying that name because they put, see how they stick that in there? Praise ye the Most High, power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And then it goes on where we started, Psalms 107, and you keep hearing it. We cried unto the Most High, he delivered us. We cried unto the Most High in our trouble, and he saved them out of their distresses. And we cried to the Most High. But you that don't see it, you that don't do it, because of your pride, you're not going to seek salvation. Death is knocking at the door. And we're not talking about just dying, this body dying. We're talking about being thrown in the lake of fire. It's our last time. It's the last time. That's why Judges 5:11. We hear what's being said. We have to do. Like I say, we inquire of our ancestors. That's what they telling us. What they did. That's what we reading about. Judges 5:11. They that are delivered, us being saved from the noise of the archers, these missiles that we can say gonna be shot into the ends of the world, in the places of drawing waters, all these different religions and all the things that they have, philosophies and so forth. There shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Most High. Rehearsing, practicing the righteous acts of the Most High. Righteous acts mean coming back to his law, statutes, commandments. Even the righteous acts toward the inhabitants of his villages in Israel, while we face the east in prayer and so forth. Then shall the people of the Most High go down to the gates. Go to the elders and inquire. Look at Psalms 89 and 13. Psalms 89 and 13. Thou hast a mighty arm, strong is thy hand, and high is thy right hand. Justice and judgment are the habitation of thy throne. Mercy and truth shall go before thy face. Blessed is the people that know the joyful sound. They shall walk, O Most High, in the light of thy countenance. We're going to see his face. We're going to walk in the light of his countenance. In thy name shall they rejoice all the day, and in thy righteousness shall they be exalted. For thou art the holy, thou art the glory of their strength, and in thy favor our horn, our power shall be exalted. For the Most High is our defense. You hear that? The Most High is our defense. And the Holy One of Israel is our King. Mashiach Yahushua. Verse 23. And I will beat down his foes before his face, and plague them that hate him. And I will beat down his foes, his enemies before his face, and plague them that hate him. Remember, we got to be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us. But my faithfulness and my mercy shall be with him. And in my name shall his horn of power be exalted. I will set his hand also in the sea, and his right hand in the rivers. He shall cry unto me, Thou art my Father, O Most High, and the rock of my salvation. Also I will make him my firstborn, higher than the kings of the earth. My mercy will I keep for him forevermore, and my covenant shall stand fast with him. His seed also will I make to endure forever, and his throne as the days of heaven. Wow, powers and authority as the days of heaven. If his children forsake my law and walk not in my judgments, if they break my statutes and keep not my commandments, then will I visit their transgression with the rod. That's why he visit our transgression with captivity, slavery, and bondage, and their iniquity with stripes and beat us. Remember, he said he'll turn his face from us? He gave us over to the worst of the heathen, the most wicked in all the world, it says. But he told us this. But we didn't believe it. Or we just trying the Most High, like people today, they think you don't see me. They rolling like you don't see me. Because Esau say you don't see me. The nations say you don't see me. Because they got their idols that they believe in. And our people the same way. You can't say you're an Israelite, you don't deal with what thus say the Most High every day, every way. All of a sudden now you went into your own little world and he don't see you. He don't recognize what you're doing or what you done did. Hopefully we forgiven for our iniquities that we've done. But he said his ways and thoughts, not our ways and thoughts. Hopefully we are. Look. Man. Ezekiel 7 and verse 18. Well, let's read verse 17. All hands shall be feeble, and all knees shall be weak as water. Man, that's lost all strength. They shall also gird themselves with sackcloth to sadness, this humility. And horror shall cover thee. You hear that? Horror shall cover them. Gonna cover ourselves with sackcloth. That's in humility, with a broken and contrite spirit. And horror shall cover them. And shame shall be upon all faces, and baldness upon all their heads. Cut all their heads off, hair off. Shame will be on our faces, and baldness upon all their heads. You know, the woman's hair is her glory. Shave all your hair off, you ain't got nothing. They shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Most High. And their silver and gold ain't gonna be able to, remember, we ain't gonna be saved with money. They silver and gold ain't gonna be able to help them in the day of the Most High sword coming to this earth to set righteousness on this earth again. They shall not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowels, because it is the stumbling block of their iniquity. As for the beauty of his ornament, he set it in majesty. But they made the images of their abominations and their detestable things therein. Therefore have I set it far from me, from them. And I will give it into the hands of the strangers for a prey, and to the wicked of the earth for a spoil, and they shall pollute it. That's why, polluted us. Why? Because we didn't want to follow him. But he said he's going to give us to these nations, the wicked of the earth. Job 9:24 says the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. If he covered the faces of the judges thereof, if not, where and who is he? So he's saying, hey, when he give it to the wicked of the earth for a spoil, a spoil, the robbers of everything we have, and they shall pollute it. And they're going to pollute us. By what? Following their ways. Learning the way of the heathen. And when we go into the Feast of Dedication, quite sure you should see that in the Maccabees. In the Greek Empire, oh yeah. Make a change, for the land is full of bloody crimes, and the city is full of violence. Wherefore I will bring the worst of the heathen. Hear this? So you're going to bring the worst of the heathen, and they shall possess their houses. I will also make the pomp of the strong to cease, and their holy places shall be defiled. Destruction cometh. When the Greeks came into power, on the Antiochus Epiphanes, man, destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none. This is before it happened. So we had opportunity to be right in the eyes of the Most High, do his will, but no. Destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none. Mischief shall come upon mischief, and rumor shall be upon rumor. Then shall they seek a vision of the prophet, but the law shall perish from the priests and counsel from the ancients. That's why the Most High had to bring the law back through Ezra. And then you see, he say, the law shall what? Perish from the priests and counsel from the ancients, right? Because look what happened during the Greek Empire. This going to that empire. In First Maccabees, the first chapter. Look at First Maccabees 1, verse 41. It said, moreover, King Antiochus, his name is Antiochus Epiphanes, this Greek or so-called white king, wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and every one should leave his laws, the laws of the Most High. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king, because all the gods of the nations are idols. Yeah, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. You see? For the king has sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah that they should follow the strange laws of the land and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings and in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths. Profane the Sabbath. And festival days, our ceremonial days. The weekly Sabbath and the ceremonial days. Listen, and pollute the sanctuary and holy people. Pollute the sanctuary and holy people. Just remember it said, verse 21 of Ezekiel 7 chapter, and I will give it into the hands of the strangers for a prey, and to the wicked of the earth for a spoil, and they shall pollute it. Here it is. First Maccabees 1 and 46. And pollute the sanctuary and holy people. Polluted us. Set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh. But the Most High said we ain't supposed to touch a dead pig carcass. And unclean beasts. That they should also leave their children uncircumcised. We circumcise the boys on the 8th day. And uncircumcision mean teaching them the circumcision mean to teach them the commandments of the Most High, the Bible. And make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation, to the end they might forget the law. See that? So that's why you see pork the other white meat and red lobster and all the things that, my two mommies and my two daddies and things that the Most High said we're not supposed to be involved in. Leviticus 20 and 13. If a man lie with mankind and he shall a woman, both of them have committed abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. To the end they might forget the law. Whose laws? The laws of the Most High. And change all the ordinances. Hear that? And change all the ordinances. And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die. So if you ain't want to follow these strange laws that he set up that was contrary to the laws of the Most High, he said he should die. See? In the selfsame matter wrote he to his whole kingdom and appointed overseers over all the people, commanding the cities of Judah to sacrifice city by city. That's a law that he commanded all his whole kingdom with overseers. Sound familiar? Like in slavery, they have the overseers. We'd be out there in the field, got the overseer on the horse, looking after us with a shotgun or a gun in his hand. Then many of the people were gathered unto them, to wit, everyone that forsook the law, and so they committed evils in the land. Hear that? So that's what you're looking at. Or I tell you that this land or this world and this system is set up to send you straight to hell, because everyone that forsook the law, and so they committed evils in the land. And when you commit evils in a land, the Most High bring evil to you, because he's righteous. And that's what you want, that's what you get. But when you do righteous, then the Most High bring the righteousness of the holy angels, of Mashiach and the holy angels to you. And drove the Israelites in the secret places, even whereunto they could flee for secure or safety, catacombs, underground. See, it's crazy, but real. Second Maccabees the 6th chapter. And Israel was so wicked. These things, we in the Greek Empire, it didn't happen during the Babylonian Empire, the Persian Median Empire, so we was about to put them to death. The prophets, wicked Israelites. 2 Maccabees, the 6th chapter. Look, start at verse 1. Not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers. Hear that? To depart from the laws of our forefathers and not to live after the laws of the Most High. Hear that? Sound familiar? You're not under the law. You're under mercy and grace. You're a Gentile grabbing in among these heathens, which is a lie. Not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews, the Israelites, to depart from the laws of their fathers and not to live after the laws of the Most High, and to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem, and to call it the temple of Jupiter, Olympius, and that in Gerizim of Jupiter, the defender of strangers, gods, idols, as they did desire that dwell in the place. The coming in of this mischief was sore and grievous to the people, because we were following the laws of the Most High, 1 and 2. For the temple was filled, for the temple was filled with riot. What did he say? Ezekiel 7:22. My face will I turn also from them, and they shall pollute my secret place, for the robbers shall enter into it and defile it. Make a change, for the land is full of bloody crimes, and the city is full of violence. Wherefore I will bring the worst of the heathen, and they shall possess their houses. And I will also make the pomp of the strong to cease, all our strong leaders and men to cease, and their holy places shall be defiled. Destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none. Mischief shall come upon mischief, and rumor shall be upon rumor. Then shall they seek a vision of the prophet, but the law shall perish from the priests, and counsel from the ancients. See? Here it is right here. Second Maccabees 6. Not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers and not to live after the laws of the Most High, and to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem, and to call it the temple of Jupiter, Olympius, and that in Gerizim of Jupiter, the defender of strangers, as they did desire that dwelt in the place. The coming in of this mischief was sore and grievous to the people. For the temple was filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles, see, who dallied with harlots, these prostitutes, in the temple, and had to do with women within the circuit of the holy places, having sexual intercourse in the temple, and selling. Harlot is a prostitute that sell her body for money, and besides that, brought in things that were not lawful. The altar also was filled with profane things, which the law forbid. See? Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts, all the feast days of the Most High. Sabbath day that we read about in Leviticus 23rd chapter, and the feast days of the Most High, it was against the law to keep the Sabbath day or the ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. You know? Against the law to profess yourself to be a Jew. That's why when you get into these chapters in the New Testament, why is Paul say he sent out to the Gentiles that are Israelites? They call themselves Gentiles. So this is where we at now. That's why we got to really come back to, keeping these laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High to please Him. So His rage and His anger, His indignation don't come upon us. Look, go to Nahum 1. Verse 2. The Most High is jealous. And the Most High revenges. The Most High revenges and His fury. Yes. Hear that? This is our power. The Most High will take vengeance on His adversaries. He's going to take vengeance on His enemies. And He reserveth wrath for His enemies. Most High is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked. Hear that? They ain't getting away with it. The Most High has His way in the whirlwind and in the storm, and the clouds are the dust of His feet. So them whirlwinds, them flying saucers, as they call them, UFOs, we call them identified flying objects, they call them unidentified flying objects. He have His way in the whirlwind and in the storm. And the clouds are the dust of His feet. He rebuketh the sea and maketh it dry. He drive up all the rivers. Bashan languishes, and the Carmel and the fire of Lebanon languishes. The mountains quake at Him. Volcanoes erupting, and the hills melt, and the earth is burned at His presence. Yea, the world and all that dwell therein. Hear that? Burn at His presence, because He fire from the waist up and fire from the waist down. Who can stand before His indignation? Which one of you out there going to stand before His indignation? You going to stop a hurricane? You going to stop a tornado? You going to stop the fire of the Most High? I don't think so. Who can stand before His indignation? Or who can abide in the fierceness of His anger? His fury is poured out like fire, and the rocks are thrown down by Him. The Most High is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble. Hear this, Israel? The Most High is good. He's the only one that's good. A stronghold in the day of trouble. And He knoweth them that trust in Him. He know them that trust in Him. That's what my secretary told you in John 10. Go to St. John, the 10th chapter. Verse 27. He said, my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. And I give unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish, neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand. He said, my Father which gave them me is greater than all, and no man is able to pluck them out of my Father's hand. I and my Father are one. So listen what it's saying. It ain't going to change. That's all He had was the Old Testament when He walked the earth. Nahum 1 and 7. The Most High is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble. And He knoweth them that trust in Him. But with an overrunning flood, He will make an utter end of the place thereof, and darkness shall pursue His enemies. What do you imagine against the Most High? What you going to imagine against the Most High, He's asking. He will make an utter end. You hear that? He going to make an utter end. Affliction shall not rise up the second time. This is it, y'all. This is it. See, affliction shall not rise up the second time. But while they be folding together as thorns, and while they are drunken as drunkards, they shall be devoured as stubble fully dry. You hear that? They're going to be devoured as stubble fully dry. There is one come out of thee that imagines evil against the Most High, a wicked counselor. Like a lot of people that are in this world now are wicked counselors because people are listening to them and they're not telling them to come back, how to come back to the Most High and what it is that will please Him. And doing His will and keeping the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High, having faith in Him, fearing Him. But what you're hearing, He's telling us now. Thus said the Most High, verse 12. Though they be quiet, and likewise many, yet thus shall they be cut down when He shall pass through. Like He passed through on the Egyptians. We put the blood on the doorposts, and the destroyer passed through and killed all the firstborn of the Egyptians. Verse 12, thus say the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, though they be quiet, and likewise many, yet thus shall they be cut down when He shall pass through. Though I have afflicted thee, I will afflict thee no more. See? He's not going to afflict us anymore, Yasharallah. But now will I break His yoke from off thee, and will bust thy bonds in sunder completely. Because he already taken the yoke of iron from off our neck from slavery. Now He's going to take that yoke of iron of our mind being destroyed away from us completely. The Most High have given a commandment concerning thee, that no more of thy name be sown. Out of the house of thy gods, thy idols, will I cut off the graven image and the molten image. I will make thy grave, but thou art vile. You hear that? Vile. Behind following these other nations, idols, and we putting flavor into it. That's why He call us vile. Behold, upon the mountains of the feet of Him that bringeth good tidings, that publishes peace. O Judah, keep thy solemn feast, perform thy vows, for the wicked shall no more pass through thee. He is utterly cut off. Finished. He is utterly cut off. Ain't no wicked gonna pass through the righteous New Jerusalem and the righteous kingdoms that He gonna set up on this earth. He is utterly cut off. Thus say the Most High. That's prophecy of what to look forward to. We were cut. He cut us off. Righteous and the wicked. So that's a little comforting scriptures through the Spirit of the Most High. And we continue this at a later date. And with that, I'm out. Shalom.